Welcome to another special edition of Stocks to Watch as we gear up for the Commodities Global Expo, taking place from October 20th to 22nd, hosted by Top Shelf Partners and led by John Fennick Consulting. I'm Ashley Berry, and today we're featuring Dolly Varden Silver, an advanced stage exploration company really making waves in the silver exploration sector. Joining me is CEO Shawn Khunkhun. Dolly Varden Silver, by the way, is listed on the TSXV as DV, the OTCQX as DOLLF, and the Frankfurt Exchange as DBQ1. They're focused on advancing high-grade silver properties in British Columbia's Golden Triangle, a region really known for its significant mineral discoveries. And with a renewed focus on exploration and growth, the company is well positioned to capitalize on the increasing demand for silver, especially in the context of electrification and renewable technologies. Shawn, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's such a pleasure. I'm excited for this conversation. So, exploration in the Golden Triangle. Dolly Varden Silver has seen great success in this area. Can you share the latest exploration results and what makes this region so critical for silver mining?
It's a great question. I'm going to start with the region. So there is a storied history in the Golden Triangle, making it one of the richest gold and silver mining camps on planet Earth. If I drew a 20-kilometer circle around the KSM and Brucejack deposits, it's actually the richest 20 kilometers on planet Earth for silver and gold mineralization. So Dolly is located in the backdrop of some of the richest rocks on the planet, where 155 million ounces of gold and 1.2 billion ounces of silver have been discovered. Recently, at our Wolf deposit, we're continuing to step out. This is outside of our resource, and we're hitting 20 and 30 meter wide, 500 to 600 gram per ton silver results. So what's unique about Dolly is we're primary silver. We're hitting high grade silver over big mineable widths, and it's very rare to find a pure silver mine that has size and grade. And what makes it most unique is that location, being located in a safe jurisdiction.
Yeah, that really sounds impressive. Large scale, scalability, of course, as well. Let's look at the market. So silver continuing to play an important role, of course, in both technology. How does Dolly Varden plan to leverage this growing demand to expand its operations, would you say?
That's a great question. So, if I look at recent news over the last couple of weeks, there's been two events. There was the Fed 50 basis point rate cut, which I really think highlights silver's investment case. And I've always seen silver as a very unique investment opportunity. Not only is it the most durable and conductive metal on the planet, but what makes it unique is it's got an investment side, but it's also got a major and growing industrial use case. You talked about EVs earlier in the dialogue, and where we're going in the silver market is by the end of next year, 100% of mine supply will be consumed by industry. And so what we've seen in recent years is we've seen quarter billion ounce deficits year over year for the last 3 years. And so Dolly Varden's strategy, based on the supply, the demand, the growing industrial case, the fact that we're in a gold market that's hitting record highs. And if we look at previous gold markets where you are in a bull market, silver tends to lag and then it outperforms. So my strategy when I came in 4 years ago, silver was half the price it is today. And I was not rushing back into production. We had a 40 million ounce resource. And my strategy was, let's find out how large this system is. We've successfully added 100 million ounces of silver equivalent. So now we're up to just under 150 million ounces. And instead of only getting 40 cents an ounce in the ground, because of that doubling of the silver price, we're getting more value for the silver ounces that we have in the ground. So our strategy has been continue to expand the mineral inventory through discovery, through acquisition, while silver was getting ultimate price discovery. And I think I'm in the camp that price discovery isn't fully fulfilled yet, that as we go into the end of 2025, we'll see further price appreciation.
Yeah, so hasn't really been realized yet. Interesting, interesting. Sustainability and growth. We know how important ESG efforts are, partnerships, all of that. How does this align? How does Dolly Varden, work with the community and et cetera?
It's a great question. The number one challenge a mining company faces is access. And, you look all over the world at small communities, whether they're in Peru, whether they're in Mexico, whether they're in Canada. If you don't have your community on side, I don't care if you have the richest mineral find on planet Earth, there's no value to it. I'm in a part of Northwest BC where there's a First Nations group, the Nisga'a Nation, that unfortunately have 85% unemployment. And sadly, Dolly Varden is one of their largest employers. So I've got a local community that is hungry for employment opportunities. They're hungry to benefit from the mineral wealth that is in the far north. And outside of the Indigenous groups, we've got local communities like Terrace, Smithers, Stewart, that have unfortunately also seen high unemployment, and really in Canada, outside of a little bit of real estate speculation and some small tourism, mining and forestry are our big industries, particularly mining in Northwest BC. So we're in a situation where if you respect water and you respect your First Nations partners, you get permits. So not only is it good governance and it's a good corporate culture, it is essential to move projects forward.
That is amazing. And with the 85%, as you mentioned, unemployment rate, I can only imagine how that truly propels the community and inspires them with the work you're doing there, I would say, right?
100%, and that's why when I first came in, we got into a pandemic lockdown 4 years ago, and everything shut down. And the first calls I received was from the Nisga'a, was from the First Nations community saying, "When are you getting to work? Like, we need to find a way to do this." And whereas I thought their stance was going to be, we don't want other new people coming into our community. It was just the opposite. It was, we need to get back to work, but we need to do this safely. And that's when I recognized I've got a special partner here, and they want this as much as I do. And so in addition to me working for the shareholders, I've got stakeholders that have a lot of skin in the game.
Fantastic. Shawn, I would just ask you, for investors and those that may not realize, I know you do, the importance and how critical silver is moving forward. So investing in your company, what would you say? What would be your pitch to get people interested?
That's a really good question. And again, I've really tried to simplify it. And what I look at right now is we're at a time in the world where there's a lot of uncertainty. There are 1,000 reasons why gold and silver could be restored to their roles in the world that they've carried for the last 5,000 years, which was to act as a store of value, a hedge against inflation, and return to being a form of real wealth. And so we've seen that for 5,000 years. So I would just ask investors in this time where you've got a lot of volatility, a tremendous amount of uncertainty. What's worked for investors in the past will work for investors going forward. So if you go back to some turbulent times, you go back to the 1930s, an investor who had 10% weighting in precious metals survived the Great Depression, and not only survived, but thrived. And we've seen that in recent history. We saw that after the tech bubble crash in the 2000s, when gold went from 300 to 1900 and silver went from $4 to $50. So gold and silver had this long history of preserving your purchasing power, being a hedge against inflation, and being a store of value outside of the banking system, number one. But number two, what makes silver the most unique metal on the planet is it's got this new use case in the new economy. Samsung's just developed this battery. It's 1 kilo of silver, and it enables an EV to be charged in 9 minutes, and for that EV to go for 600 miles. So silver is going to play a critical role, whether it's in solar panels, whether it's in EVs. So you've got a growing industrial case. And at the same time that you've got this investment and industrial demand, You've got mine supply going from 1.2 billion down to 850 million ounces a year. So it's the perfect storm for silver. And it's why the last 5 years of my life, I've been focused on trying to get as much exposure as I can. And for my shareholders, I've increased that exposure by 100 million ounces. We've got 150 million ounces silver EQ today, and we're trying to grow it. And we're doing that through drilling. We're doing that through acquisitions. So Dolly represents a very unique opportunity to play silver's growth.
Yeah. Terrific insights. Thank you so much. And very sage advice. I would also add impressive. Shawn Khunkhun of Dolly Varden Silver. This is just a glimpse of the companies and conversations you'll experience at the Commodities Global Expo, where industry leaders will share their insights on the future of commodities and mining. Check out the conference website, topshelf-partners.com. And stay tuned as we continue to showcase more of the innovative companies just like Dolly Varden. Take care.